Hello, everyone. And I just forgot something. I forgot to turn my volume off on my phone. How's everyone doing this evening? I dropped the link for you, Michelle. All you have to do is click the link and make sure when you come in, once you backstage, close out your tab that says YouTube. So that way there is no echoing. Hi, guys. How is everybody doing? I have been working on this story for a while, and Michelle sent it to me. I've talked to a couple of other people about this as well. I'm just so we have the clips. Oh my God! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I My shoulder is killing me. Okay, I slept really bad last night and I slept wrong on my shoulder. But I was dreaming, I was having dreams about rats, well, mice or rats and snakes. So when I looked it up, it said that I had it's a premonition about, uh, I forgot how they worded it, but you guys can look it up. It just means that there's a snake and a rat around me. So, uh, thank you. I'm tired. I am really tired, but I am here. So Susan is in the house. I have Nurse Jen, who I haven't seen in a minute except for yesterday, but I'm glad you're here, sweetie. Nurse Jen lives in New York as well. Michelle is here. So Michelle, I'm gonna drop the link one more time for you. Click the link that I just dropped in the chat, and that's going to take you to StreamYard. Hi, Susan. Hi, my sweetie. I already called your name, but I got to call it again. Okay, hopefully it'll work. There you go. Let's see what else. Make sure you click the like and share and tell a friend, tell a foe. Also, guys, I today all of a sudden all of my comments started coming in, and I had so many comments I had to go through and respond to. It was like they just shot out the blue. I have no idea what's going on with YouTube. So I'm going to find out. Hi, Crazy Cat Mama. How are you? Let's see. Moderator 148. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Who else we have? Okay, she's on her laptop. Let's see. Oh, sweet but kind of sassy. How are you doing this evening? Okay, let's see. I'm going down. Hi, Gina. How are you? Welcome. Long time no see. I'm glad you guys are here. So I'm talking about the Rochester Police Department and the mayor's office tonight. Um, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in March, hi, Pamela. How are you? Welcome. Back in March last year, 2020, Daniel Prude was killed by the Rochester Police Department. And I'm going to show you guys the audio, the police footage of the killing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to show it to you because we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to give you a little background on it, and then we can discuss it. So Daniel Pruitt was visiting his brother in Rochester. The brother, Paul, called 911 because his brother was having an episode. He ran from the house. He had no shoes on, no shirt. And I'm going to tell you, after I tell you this story, and after I let you see this police cam footage, I'm going to tell you about my nephew. I see you. Oh, there's Michelle.
Am I here?
Yes, you're here.
All right, I want to hide my.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to show Daniel Prude. Yes, Pruitt. Prude, not Pruitt. Prude. I don't know why I want to keep saying Pruitt. But Daniel Prude. Um,
What do I?
so
Sorry.
yes.
What am I? What do I click on again?
No, you're in, but I can't. You have to raise your mic up some because they can't hear you. Okay. Okay, say something. Michelle, why are you on mute? Unmute yourself.
I just did right.
Okay. So
How do I cover? I have my finger over the
I
camera.
don't see your face.
Right, because I'm covering it, but I want to cover it
Okay,
completely.
what you do is you see at the bottom it says stop cam
Yeah,
cam. Okay, hit
cam
that
slash.
button.
Okay. No, it's not
Hi
doing.
Wit, how are you? So just hit the button that says stop cam.
Oh, all right. I hit the wrong one. Okay. Oh, it's not showing my regular
Okay, so
Instagram.
that's fine. So when I read this, so when I heard about it and then I started looking at it, my nephew, and I think I told you guys this before, Jelani Manigault. You can look it up. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. Jelani Manigault. He lived in Teaneck, New Jersey. Um, he was graduated. Well, he had just graduated from the University of Maryland, and his mom and his dad took him on a retreat to one of this, and I want to say Christian Science, but it was another thing. He was having like a little mental breakdown. He had just graduated. I guess he was nervous. Jelani went and they he ran out of the hotel. He ran out of the hotel. He had no shoes on. He only had a t-shirt. It was freezing. No shoes, just his socks. Took his mom's keys, jumped in her car, crashed the car into a crabapple tree in front of somebody's house. People came out to check on him. He went in the house, grabbed a knife, and he was trying to hurt himself. The homeowner got the knife away from him. He ran out the door. I'm gonna tell you what police department it is. It's in New Jersey. He was shot once in the head, right here. He was shot in the groin. And they said that he was coming towards them with the knife. He had no knife. He stumbled on a stub in their yard and he was coming forward. So the first shot hit him here, the second shot hit him in the groin. So Jelani Manigault, you can go and read about it. So when this happened, they thought he was some thug kid or whatever, but he lived in a beautiful home in Teaneck, New Jersey that was about I think the house is like 6,000 square feet. His mom is a professor. His dad owned a bunch of parking garages in Midtown Manhattan. And he's also related to, I forgot her name, but her last name is Manigault too. I forgot her name, but she was on The Apprentice. So
Oh,
he had a manic episode. And the way they handle mental illness is horrible, and she sued the police department. She sued every damn body. Um, so that is a true story, and you can look it up. So his brother Joe called 911, and they got there. There was a man in the street he was running, and I'm just gonna let you see it. Omarosa, thank you, Omarosa. I don't like her, but that is my ex brother-in-law's niece or cousin. I can't remember, but she's related to him. All of them are down there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
oh wow.
So let me just play this for you guys and you can see for yourself. Let me just add it to the stream. Let me pull it up so I can see it and I can play it.
My name is on the bottom here. Oh, wait. It's disturbing.
Now, guys, remember I said he ran out the house. He had, I don't know what happened to his clothes, but he's butt naked now. So a neighbor actually saw him as well. His brother had already called 911. I don't know if he told them that he needed to have a mental health unit respond, but if you don't say that, they're going to send regular officers. So they put a hood over his head, and you're going to see this. And I am so sorry, but I just needed you to see this, exactly what I'm talking about. So let's keep going. Okay, seriously. A high snuggle bunny at this time, when are you going to call a mental health unit? So he started spitting. They put a mesh hood over his head and pinned him to the ground. This, and it's cold. There's no blanket. They're not giving him a blanket or anything. You can see he's in a mental health crisis. You hear this man asking for a gun. He needs it, but he was running around saying that he had the C word, uh, the pandemic. He was running around saying this. So this man had five kids, five kids. So let's finish looking at this, because this, when I watched it, it was very disturbing to me. No blanket, but they're giving him a mesh hood. No blanket, but they're putting the hood over his head because he spit. He was spitting, not at them, but he spit. And they're laughing. Now he's spitting at them. Okay.
Disgusting.
Okay.
Can you
This
hear
is
me?
what happened to this man. Let me just pull this down for a minute. So they pinned him down, put his face into the ground. 7 days later, he died. Now, this was 2 months before George Floyd was killed. You heard the cops laughing. He didn't start spitting at them until they put the mask on his face. I didn't hear, maybe somebody else heard it. I didn't hear not one call for a mental health unit. He died 7 days later in the hospital. This man had 5 kids. The
We didn't have,
medical examiner ruled his death as a homicide. It was ruled a homicide due to complications of asphyxia. This past February, there was a grand jury. They did it. There was no indictments for any of the officers involved. None of the officers was indicted, even though his manner of death was ruled a homicide. He had 5 kids, butt ball naked, in the street when it's snowing. I don't know.
as
Oh, Michelle, what do you have to say? Because you told me about this.
yes, I just remembered at the time that you were doing the George Floyd, and I don't know, I just felt like I'll give you the information.
Okay.
I wasn't planning. I mean, I hadn't known I was going to come up until today, but it's cool. I'm glad I'm up here because I never watched that whole entire video. So
Okay, that's not all of it. I
no,
stopped it.
right, no, I've only seen. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces, but I never listened to everything that he was saying. So that was sad. I mean, it's just it's disgusting. But as Mod 148 said, we didn't have anything for the mental health thing. We didn't have the mental health team at the time. Obviously, none of that came into effect until after George Floyd. We all
Okay.
know that. We all know that because even if they did say it was a mental hygiene, I don't think they would have called anyone but the police. And the police were not trained, as we all know, since after George Floyd, all over the states. That's what they're doing now.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to raise your mic up just a little bit more, baby. Or get closer to your mic. Yeah, but so now in this case, what happened with this is the mayor, Lovely Warren, is her name. She's black. Yes, she is. She said that she wasn't aware of the handling of this case. And that was proven to be a falsehood, but we're going to talk about her later. So, in response to that, the chief of police, Leroy Singletary, he he put in his notice to retire. Okay, he put in his notice to retire. She fired him a week after he put that notice in. But this was to keep him from getting his medical and everything else. She also fired a couple other people, but she said she had no idea about this case, which was proven to be a lie. And Chief Singletary said that he wasn't going to go along with the mayor's lie. So, Michelle, what do you have to say?
I mean, I followed it to a point. Um, so I, I, I didn't know if Singletary knew, but the mayor definitely was aware of it, in my opinion.
Yep, they said she was aware of it at least by the end of March and the first week of April.
Yes.
This happened on March 23rd.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna drop the link. Ooh,
Yeah, I was
ooh,
going to
ooh.
say, come on up because Mod 148 will know. more too.
Mm. But yes, so oh God, I took a big hit off of that. I don't know why I did that. I should know better. This is watermelon ice is good too. Okay, I dropped the link for you. There she is. Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
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 I know I said I didn't want to come up because I'm very close to this situation,
I know.
but I decided it's okay. I will.
Okay.
Thanks,
So
thanks,
Chief,
Mod.
hi Michelle.
Hi.
Chief Singletary notified the mayor the next day after he was killed by email. The mayor threw him under the bus and said that she didn't find out until 6 months later.
Yeah, that's
He
what it was.
he let the mayor throw him under the bus, and he did not go forward and go public and say that he notified her. He did not want to cause any more chaos in our already chaotic city and police department, took the fall and said, I'm going to resign. So, retire, excuse me. So, he
Mm-hmm.
put in his retirement plan. He was going to retire in, it was either 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I think it was 4 weeks. So, he was a week in after he made the announcement, and she decided to fire him at that point, which made him ineligible for his health insurance benefits, free health for life.
I was going to talk about the mayor later, but since you're up here, and let me tell you what else I found about your lovely, lovely mayor.
Oh, yeah, she's a peach.
So it seems
Latest
her
news.
husband,
Oh, yeah.
Timothy,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mhm.
Tim, as you want to get a look, Timothy, he was arrested.
He sure
Yeah.
was.
Not too
He
long
was
ago.
arrested. Um, okay, so he was unconscious. I can play the rest of the video if you guys want to see it. It's another 6 minutes, but I mean, he is he's like a George Floyd. There was you know,
Exactly.
um, but I can play the rest of it, Snuggle Bunny, but it's just sad. So with Mary,
It's very hard to watch.
yes,
So
I couldn't watch anymore. I'm
yeah.
serious. I could not watch anymore. But Mary Lovely, she's also under indictment for felony for campaign fraud.
She sure is.
Yeah.
So, and that case is pending. But her husband, Timothy,
By the way, that's a very strong case that she is most likely not going to win.
ooh, and let me just tell you that she lost her reelection bid. So there is a new mayor in
We knew that was
Rochester.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So she lost her reelection bid. But her husband was arrested on May 19th. Police, but they have been watching him for 7 months. Okay. 7 months. They were investigating him. He was arrested. They discovered
Wait,
drugs.
stop.
Yes. Yes.
They were not investigating him. They were doing a drug sting.
Okay. They said they were
a
arresting him.
wiretap.
So that's not true because I called.
They were doing a wiretap on a group of drug dealers for 7 months. Yes, he was not the original target.
No, he wasn't. I'm sorry. He
He
wasn't the
popped
original
up.
target.
Yeah, he popped up in the investigation that was already ongoing.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, because they said it was an investigation that was going for 7 months.
Yep.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. So with this, they discovered drugs, guns. There were unregistered guns. And he was accused of being a part of a mid-level cocaine ring, trafficking ring, and he was charged with drugs.
Several kilos of cocaine.
Several kilos of cocaine. But here's the best part. Well, this is not the best part. They had a wiretap of him going to drop off a package, and his 10-year-old daughter was in the car.
Wow.
They also have him on camera in the mayor's city vehicle. I mean, this is sad. So the husband, but wait a minute, he also had a record to begin with.
He sure did.
He had a record. He had a record, and she was bragging about how people can change their life around. This man had a record.
He changed his life, Heidi. He went from a burglar to a drug dealing, gun running guy.
Yep, they have a 67. Oh, so much Dev. Hi, so much Dev. They have a 67-page affidavit, and Homeland Security and the state police raided her house. You want to talk about that?
And didn't she claim that she didn't live? They weren't living in the same house or something.
No, they were living in the same.
Something about.
Nope. She said that they were living in the same house together, but they're separated.
Okay. Yeah, they're separated.
Yeah, but there was no paperwork filed.
No
paperwork filed.
They're not separated. Well, they are now because he's in jail. Actually, no, he's not in jail. He was released on his own recognizance. The next morning. Yeah, he was released without bail the next morning.
Where is he now?
He's home.
With her.
Yeah.
And they're separated. And their 10-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
But he had guns all in the house.
Yes, he did.
She claims she didn't know anything about them.
Well, they said that she wasn't the target and they weren't going after her. That's what they said. Hi, Terry. Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he was released the next morning. No bail.
On his own recognizance, and they had all drugs and everything.
It was, God, was it 2 kilos or 3 kilos?
I can't remember. And I'm looking to see. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see where he was released at.
He sure was.
So, but he got off. So he had on his robbery charge, he had a 5-year probation sentence. He didn't serve no time then either.
No. He's going to serve time this time.
Yeah, definitely.
And the state police is spearheading all of this because the mayor is, over the police department. So
and Homeland Security too.
I can't get into much of that, but yeah, they had to call in after the investigation had been worked on for like 7 months. They had to call in the state police during it because they knew it was going to be a conflict of interest.
Oh my God. But I was also told, and I went to the Homeland Security thing too, that they're also investigating.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I can say about the state police, and I won't say a lot, but pertaining to my sister's case, that's a whole different thing. We had a few murder cases that happened in one of our towns, Heidi, and the state police had taken over these cases. And I was waiting for an update on the lab stuff I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that they were busy with that, and the detective that we only had for about a year all of a sudden was out sick. I guess he got COVID. I don't know how, but he said he got COVID. Then he came back and he calls me and tells me that, the police, all these detectives that he worked with have been dealing with all these cases going on, and probably some of it with what we're talking about.
Okay.
Which is more important. And that's why they couldn't get back to me about anything. And then he just told me he got reassigned. So now I'm waiting for a new detective. And they didn't find anything on my sister's clothing. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay. So I have on panel, I have Michelle's on panel. So Michelle is right here. And then I have moderator 148, and she's right there. So I want to share with you guys something else too, because this is not the only one. So let me pull this other one up so you guys can see exactly what Rochester has been up to. And let's see. I want to see. Let's see. Not this one. I want to see this one, but I want to discuss this 9-year-old girl as well. Um,
I have to drop down, Heidi, but
all right, sweetie.
do you have anything else you want to ask me before I go down?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So this is
Bye.
this is the shooting. Okay. This is the shooting of Mark Gaskill. Okay. This is also in Rochester. So let me just play this one for you so you can see it.
My boyfriend, I was cooking and shit, and he's like, you need to pull up right now before you end up kicking in the car on some shit. And I'm trying, I ain't gonna lie though, I don't feel good.
Alright, where are you guys coming from?
My house,
Huh?
my house. I'm trying to go to Strong.
Where's your house at?
Okay, guys, hold on. Let me just tell you about this one. So the woman they're speaking to, she's pregnant. Supposedly, she was on her way to the hospital, but there had been a shooting in the neighborhood, and the car they were in, it matched the description of what the police was told to look for. So let's just go back and watch this.
You got any ID on your license?
I don't have a license. I don't know ID.
But she's driving a car, but she has no ID.
Mind if I open this door and talk to you? Yeah? 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 What's going on, man? No. So we're trying to hurry up.
Okay, so Mark's in the back seat. So let me just move it. Let me just move it to Mark. He's in the back seat.
What's up? We're approaching. Okay.
Slowly enter the scene. We're going to need Webster and
What's your name, man? Spell your last name? Where do you live at? Oh, we're trying to figure that out. Why don't you guys hang tight, though? Do you need an ambulance?
No, I don't.
You sure?
Give me anxiety.
You got out of the car quick.
Oh, I have a bad body disorder. So when I'm in my car and I'm
We're going to need Webster and Jay, Webster, Mathis. Clock gets already started.
Show us your hands!
Okay. User, you want Webster, Mathis?
Yeah, I'm gonna attack reload right now, okay? You're still moving. Stop reaching! Stop reaching! I got you covered. Reloading.
We're going to get me the shell. Okay.
I'm up. Secure her. Get in that car, please. 281.
Okay. So
Passenger in the front, are you hit? No, I'm not up.
wait a minute. How did I miss the shooting?
Go.
Okay, there it is. Okay, they said he had a gun. He did not have a gun. He had his phone in his hand. He had his cell phone in his hand. And they're saying that he pulled a gun and he showed it. But if you saw from the beginning, he was on the phone and he had the same phone in his hand when they opened that back door and they said, you know, they started hollering gun, gun, gun. They shot him in the back seat of this car. 28 years old. This happened May 14th this year. And, you know, they opened the back door and but 15 minutes into the video, which was kind of, and they just started shooting. They said they saw a gun. Now, first they said they stopped the car because, you know, it matched the description of what they were looking for. But yet the woman who's driving was supposedly saying she was on her way to the hospital. It was what was being reported. But you heard her. She's saying that she just has body anxiety. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. But they yelled he had a gun. He had a cell phone in his hand. And this is crazy to me. This is really, really crazy. Michelle, what do you think?
Our city has never been this bad. It's crazy. I mean, we never had these kind of problems. You know, like even 15, 20 years ago, it was never like this. It's just out of control now.
So I was trying to download the still frames too, but you will see the guy had a phone in his hand. Now, all the officers involved, they were placed on administrative leave. Of course, that's the normal procedure, but still, no gun. But the minute they yell gun, you hear the shots being fired.
It sounds like they, you know, just assumed this is the car we're looking for, and they just went ahead and did whatever they thought they had to do, which is horrible.
I don't know why they're triggered. Oh, Mel, that's not. Oh, you got to wait to see the next one, Mel. This is all in Rochester. And this happened on with Mark, May 14th. The other one is going to be like 13 days before the Daniel Pruitt one. And they just gun happy in Rochester. We're not even, I'm going to show you the 9-year-old that they maced, which is the story behind that one too.
Oh,
but
horrible.
Oh my God. So this is just one. This is Rochester. And Rochester isn't that big, is it? No. Nope.
I don't know how big, I mean, but it's, you know, it's like Buffalo, Syracuse. We're like, you know.
Okay. So
Syracuse.
Yep.
So
well, I've been to Syracuse.
Yeah. So
okay. So let me pull that other one up because I just need you guys to see all of this stuff that I found. And I'm just like, that's not even half of the ones. I mean, there's been a lot of shootings, but these were the most where there's no charges at all pending. There is nothing there.
No, this has all just been happening.
It's like, and they keep calling. Then we're going to discuss this new reform that they've put in place. So, okay, this is going to be. That's Daniel Pruitt. I don't want Daniel Pruitt. I want. Hold on. Let me get the other one. I don't want Daniel. Let me get the other one. I don't want Daniel Pruitt. I want. Okay, well, with the Tyson Jones one, his name is Tyshawn Jones. Okay, there is no footage of. They have not released any footage of his killing. But with Tyshawn Jones, I had it. Let me see where it's at. Oh, here it is. 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 I'm trying to find the video footage. I don't know where it's. Oh, well, I wanted to see the surveillance camera because it was a surveillance camera that picked up the shooting. of Tyshawn. And oh, I have it. All right. I have it. I have it. I have it. Let me go back to my StreamYard. Let me share this. I'm just disgusted by the whole thing. Let me stop. But they're steady doing this, and they keep talking about that they want reform, they want reform, they want reform, and I just don't see it. And I've been reading all of these new committees that they have in place that they're going to start putting into place to help people, and I just don't see it. I don't get it. Why they're so gun happy. Okay, let me go to my other screen so I can see it. Okay, it's the same one that you guys are looking at. Hold on. I need to be able to see it. There's Tyshawn. Okay, I'm ready. So let me play this one for you. But he had an encounter with the police earlier that day. Okay. He said he was having some mental illness. Now they don't show you, there's no sound to this. It's just a surveillance camera. But he had an encounter with the police earlier that day. The police officers took him to this shelter. Okay. They took him to the shelter. Now he's 29 years old. He was shot and killed on March 10th. They took him to a shelter between 3 and 4 p.m. They got food and everything else. Later that night, it was a commotion at the mission shelter. They said somebody had kicked the door in. They get there and they run into Tyshawn and they just shot him. See, but the surveillance isn't showing you the actual shooting. They have not released the camera footage of them shooting this young man. And he was in a mental health crisis. The police officers encountered him. Oh, there you go. There it is. They encountered him earlier that day. They know he was in crisis. 3 cops. 3 cops. Matthew Drake is the officer's name. They shot him 5 times. 5 times. Don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah, he was already in the shelter at the mission.
Yep, he was already in the shelter. They shot him 5 times.
Water, that's a natural occurrence.
So,
A cave that might come up, that's a natural
hold on. So let me just turn this off. They shot him 5 times. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But so his parents were speaking out about it. Okay, so in his case, he had lost his grandmother. He had lost his great grandmother in December. He lost his grandmother at the beginning of March, I think. So he was going through a crisis. He could not handle it. He went through a mental health crisis. They encountered him earlier that day. When I say they encountered him, they had like about a 30-minute encounter with this man because they were worried about him. He said he had nowhere to go. They took him to the shelter, and the officer had actually called for a taser and a beanbag guns, but they didn't get there in time. Now, I want to know what was the rush for them to start shooting. They have not released anything. They resulted to lethal source. They shot him right in front of that mission. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, Michelle, are you aware of that case?
I mean, I remember it. It was a while ago. But I haven't read up on anything. I didn't realize that they are not releasing anything. It's just.
Now, I have a video. I have a video that I found. It was a young man in Florida. He was having a mental crisis. He had restraining orders and everything. He had been stalking his girlfriend. I'm gonna post that video. He had been stalking his girlfriend. The police stopped him. He pulled out a gun, and I'm gonna add he was either Hispanic or white. I can't remember. He pulled a gun, started shooting. The cops retreated. The guy ran out the car. They caught up with him. When an officer responded, when they returned fire, they shot him in the leg, and then he tried to run. They caught up to him. They arrested him. He is charged with shooting at officers. He is alive. He was in the hospital, and now they have him in the mental ward at the jail. He was not killed. Oh, Terry, guns are a lot harder to get in Australia. Maybe we ought to move to Australia. But he wasn't killed. This young man, Tyshawn Jones, had no weapons. He had nothing on him. They won't release the footage to show why he was shot. They said, we got the surveillance footage from, I guess, the mission or whatever is next door to them. But they will not release the footage of him actually being shot and killed.
That's what I don't understand, and that's what I've always said when we see this on the news. I understand, what the police have to do, but in these situations, these ones that we're watching, they could have been prevented. Like you said, the other person was shot in the leg. Shoot the if you have to do that, but don't shoot to kill the person. For no reason.
So that's Tyshawn Jones up there. And I'm sorry, I didn't show you the picture. There's Mark Gaskill that was killed in the back seat of the car. That's Mark right there. He's 28. Tyshawn was 29.
Yeah, they're just trigger happy these days.
They're trigger happy. But this last one I'm going to show you.
This.
Huh?
It was never like this, like I said earlier.
Never?
I don't remember it being like this, I don't know, 20 years ago. It wasn't this bad. It was never this bad.
Okay. Let me show you this last one. And I want your guys' reaction to this one, because this one I found quite disturbing. Let me just add this to the stream. Let me get it so I can play it for you.
Just stop for a second.
Now, this is a 9-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
A 9-year-old girl.
Stop. You good? All right, now for us. Hey, get out of the street for me. Get out of the street. Get out of the street for me. Just get out of the street. I'm not gonna do this. Take a breath. You're all right. Stop.
I just see my dad. I want my dad. Wait, can I just please get the snow off of me?
I'll get the snow.
It's cold.
You've had your chance.
Get in the car now.
Okay?
Okay?
You've had your chances.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I want my
You're going to go to jail now.
I want my dad. Wait, I just want to see my dad, please. For the last time. I want my dad.
Get in the car.
I demand it.
I don't care what you demand. Let's go.
I want my dad. I want my dad.
Stop me. Stop her.
9 years old.
Get in the car.
I can't find your dad, so you sit back and I can close the door, okay? I will find your dad, so sit back. I promise. Look at me. Look at me. Look again.
disgusting.
What the same hill fuck was that?
Disgusting.
A
But talking-
9-year-old girl. They
Talking and
maced.
treating her like she's an
Now, here's
adult.
the situation. There was the mother reportedly had stabbed the dad. Okay, so the cops were called for domestic violence. They get there, the girl's hysterical. I'm being told that the mother was quite abusive to the daughter as well. They get there, they understand the child is hysterical. You know, she just saw her mother stab her dad. Just saw her mother stab her dad. And she wants to see her dad. And she's saying, I want to see my dad for the last time. Did you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to see her dad for the last time. And they're wrestling with her. They have her on the ground in the snow. Why is it always snowing? Well, I guess all of these happened except for, it was snowing on all of them except for Mark, because that was May. But
yeah, that's disturbing. It was sad. No reason. She was in the back seat. I mean,
well, first she was on the ground. She kept telling him
Right.
she wants to see her dad. She's 9 years old. Why do you handcuff a 9? Well, okay, maybe the cops are scared she's going to hurt them. She's 9.
they just react. And I can't remember. Was she coming from the store? She wasn't.
No, she wasn't coming. She was at the
just
house.
At the house.
She
okay.
saw her mother stab her dad. Domestic violence.
Right.
Saw the mother stab her dad.
So she was hysterical, and they just react. But then they got her in the car, and she's sitting in the car, and they're talking. You had your chances, like, come on, she's 9.
She's 9 years old. Exactly. She's 9. But okay. Is there another way that they could have handled her?
I'm sure I mean, they didn't have to pepper spray her. I mean, she's in the car, in the back seat with the handcuffs on. What else was she doing? She was just screaming at them that she wanted to see her father.
And she's thinking her dad's going to die. She
Right.
wanted to see her dad for the last time.
And the female officer wasn't, in my opinion, should have been helping her more. Instead, you got the other ones.
Yeah, it was 5 cops out there.
Yeah, talking to her like she's a crazy man on drugs or something. And
No.
it wasn't the situation. It was just, they didn't need to treat her that way. I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I mean. It was just a different. She shouldn't have been treated that way.
You're right. There was no compassion. And
Exactly.
then, the lady cop has said, I'm going to go find your dad. I'm going to get you your dad. I'm going to bring your dad. But I need you. Why? First of all, why are you trying to put her in the car? For what reason? Why do you have handcuffs on a 9-year-old child that just watched her mother stab her father?
So they knew about what the mother did.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So were they going to the house originally, and then they just?
Yes, it was a domestic disturbance call.
Yeah, and then they saw her first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just was following. I remember following. I watched what happened with her.
Yep, Snuggle Bunny, I thought about that too. He was keeping her from hurting herself or hurting somebody else. I thought about all of that. But,
She wouldn't have hurt herself. She wouldn't have hurt
that's
herself.
when you talk to this little girl and let her know, you don't do that. There are officers that come out that have compassion. I didn't see any compassion out of all of them. Did anybody else witness any compassion towards this little girl?
There isn't any.
She didn't stab her dad.
No.
Her mother did. She didn't stab her dad. Her mother did. So with all of this going on, here's what they're trying to do now in Rochester. They're trying to, I'm going to bring this up for you guys. I'm going to show you these people, and I'm going to show you what they're trying to do. Okay, so this is the group The name is Enough is Enough. Okay. And I agree with them. So they're a New York community organization dedicated to providing mutual aid to people impacted by police misconduct. Enough is Enough is allied community groups are proposing a police accountability board to replace our current outdated police review system. The current review bodies, the professional standards, and the civilian review boards are either corrupted by conflicts of interest or lacking in investigatory and disciplinary powers. So the group that they're proposing is the Police Accountability Board. And there will be independent investigators to authorities, agencies of the city government. They will be able to subpoena power to compel the production of evidence and witnesses, the authority to conduct misconduct hearings, disciplinary authority, the power to evaluate systematic patterns, practices, policies, procedures of the RPD to recommend changes and prevent misconduct. So that's what they're proposing to do. They've also set up a website, Name 'em, Shame 'em, to put all the cops up there. Like I told you, Matthew Drake is the one that shot Tyshawn Jones 5 times. 5 times. So they're asking all the citizens to put the names up, put them up there so they can see them, so everybody will know who these cops are. I like this. Name 'em, shame 'em. Now, should they have to do this? No, they shouldn't. But they're not getting anywhere because the whole system is corrupt. From the mayor's office, well, there's a new mayor in right now, to the police department. Now, the police chief, Ron Singletary, has actually applied for a position in Austin, Texas, as chief of police. It's him, and I think it was like 10 other candidates that they're looking at. So we'll probably be getting, I don't know if we're going to get, well, they're going to get LaRon in Austin or not. But I think that board, if it passes, so they're supposed to be having an emergency election. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I don't know if my.
Yep, that's all they had to do. Put her in the back seat. You can't get out the back seat of a cop car. You don't have to put handcuffs on her, which, okay, if you handcuff her, why not put the handcuffs to the front? Why does she have the handcuffs behind her? Why not put them to the front? Maybe you're trying to keep her from hurting herself. Okay, I understand. But why handcuff her from behind? She is 9 years old. I didn't even know they had handcuffs for 9-year-old girls. Well, 9-year-olds, period. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy to me. It's 5 of them out there. And then the last part that I wanted to show you guys, this transgender lady, this transgender, is an activist, okay? So during the time of the Daniel Prude murder, and that's what it was because the medical examiner ruled it as a murder, as a homicide, she was out there protesting and let me see. So let's see. She's being targeted by both local and federal law enforcement for political speech. The Rochester Police Department, again, the Rochester Police Department arrested Riley in September while she was attending a protest. Video evidence conclusively showed that the RPD lied about Riley's actions and the charges were quickly dropped. However, as a result of this, Rochester Police Department started surveilling Riley's social media. Now, she put on her social media on Facebook how to make a Molotov cocktail. Yes, she did that. Put it up there. How to make a Molotov cocktail. Now, is that illegal? Don't know. This illegal surveillance led to the FBI investigating and the Department of Justice charging Riley with the violation of the Anti-Riot Act after Riley shared a publicly available article on Facebook. about how to make a Molotov cocktail. Now Riley is facing up to 5 years of incarceration for posting a publicly visible article. Now, should she have put it on Facebook?
No.
No, but it is an article that's out there. Anybody could have seen it, but she posted it on her social media. Do you know, I go through social media, I see people brandishing guns. I see people showing weed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see people showing methamphetamine. I see people showing all kinds of stuff. Haven't seen none of them get arrested. Haven't read about any of them being arrested.
No. I don't know if I heard about this person. I mean,
They arrested her in September while she was protesting. Now, the thing with Daniel, it got buried after George Floyd, because with the unrest and all the protesting and rioting, remember, George was killed May 25th.
mhm,
This happened to Daniel March
March.
23rd.
yeah.
Now, not granted, he died 7 days later in the hospital. It was still ruled a homicide.
Right, but they kept it quiet all that time.
Yep. So
I think it was kept quiet, and then was it August when his family got the footage, and that's how it was released?
yes, so the family got the footage. The family released the footage.
Yeah, that's how. and
Now,
then-
Tyshawn Jones' family is asking for the footage as well for what they did to him. Now, they released everything else. They haven't released that footage. I have not been able to find it. I went to the Rochester Police Department's website where all the footage is. That footage is not there. This man was shot 5 times in front of the homeless shelter that he was taken to by police officers earlier in the daytime. He said he was having a mental crisis. He had nowhere to go. So, you know, if you get a call, and I was told that he told him his name and everything else, but this is what happened. This is Rochester. How far are you from Rochester, Michelle?
I'm just in a suburb, like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes from the city.
And this thing with Riley is sad because, okay,
I remember obviously all the riots. I probably did see that person's picture somewhere, but
okay.
I hadn't heard about it.
Now, during this time also, they had a pepper ball launching system. They revised this pepper ball stuff because they knew the cops were going to be being more aggressive. And in order for them not to have, and they didn't, you know, for them not to be disciplined during this time, you know, they just revised that pepper ball. So that's when all the rioting was starting in Rochester, but Daniel. But like I said, that was overshadowed by George Floyd.
Yes, definitely. The
So
like the first riot after Daniel Prude, so that was in August. The first one, I believe, that happened like right in downtown near the police station.
okay, yes.
From what I remember, there was some people that were in charge of that whole particular riot. They were from out of state because they did a lot of damage. I mean, I think they knocked the police cars over. They did a lot of damage. I mean, in my lifetime, I'd never seen riots like this. I only know of the riots that we had in the 60s.
Okay, have you
Rochester is known for when they had riots was in the 60s.
Okay, have you heard anything about the Name 'em, Shame 'em, and about the Police Accountability Board?
I haven't really been looking at a lot of, I guess, the news lately. I've been busy with other things, but
Okay,
I'm
so
not surprised.
okay, but before I get out of here, do you have any updates? Yes, yes, Cat Mama. Before I get out of here, do you have any updates on your sister's case? Now, Michelle's sister was one of the victims of the ABC murderer in New York. Do you have any updates on your sister's case?
Double initial murders or alphabet murders. So as I said earlier, with the state police, they were busy with other things, and then our detective that was with us for a short time contacted me a few weeks ago and told me he was being reassigned or promoted, and that he did hear from the lab and that they did not find any additional DNA on her clothing. So that
And
was
that's
kind.
all the DNA they have left, right? Or is there more DNA?
They just have the amount that they've had left over, which is, you know how I can't. It's so hard to explain, but the number is 10 or
Yeah.
11, and it's only considered a partial profile.
Mm-hmm.
So, this particular detective took over from our other the guy retired, and he said, let's see what we could do. Let's send clothing to the main lab in Albany, see if we could find, with technology,
Okay.
they do have this happen where they do find DNA on clothing, but they said they didn't find anything, and I was pretty bummed for a while, and
Okay.
but I prepared myself for the worst, and you know
Well, I wouldn't give
lost.
up because you know
No, I'm
why?
not.
Because
Um,
if they found, they found the BTK killer, they found, I mean, come on now. I mean, the guy that was doing all the bind, torture, and kill, they found him, after all of those years. So I would not give up. I wouldn't lose faith because you know what they said, everything that's done in the dark shall come to light. And it always seems to hit them when they don't. Oh, yeah, I
right.
couldn't, but just don't
Um,
give up. But and guys, everybody's been sending me these texts about Bill Cosby. I was actually sleeping. I saw it come across my phone, and I said I would look at it later. But I am going to pull the court's decision to reverse his conviction, well, to vacate his conviction, and see exactly what happened and why was that vacated. And but he should be released by now. He was going to be released in a couple of hours, and I had slept bad on my shoulder, so I ran out this morning to do my errands and stuff, and I had forgot I had taken either a leave or two, I can't remember. But then I came back and I took a Flexerol, and that just knocked me out completely. Yes,
well,
I was shocked. I was shocked. But he was only doing 3 to 10. I don't know how long he's been in there, to be honest, because I haven't been keeping track of him at all. And I should be doing an update on Summer Wells tomorrow. Um, I had some information that was sent, that was put in my comments, that Samuel Olson's mother, that she did have custody of Samuel, but the dad picked him up from his grandfather's and never returned him. So that's why she didn't have custody of her son. And just like I said, that, that's what happened when my son went to pick up his kids. His ex-wife wouldn't return them. He called Harris County. He had the paperwork. They told him that, we can't stop you from taking your kids. But he did it. He went back into court again, and she was about to lose her parental rights. But the judge told, I mean, I was at court that day, and she was saying that she don't, and he said, you don't have any rights to have those kids. And she was acting a fool, and he told the bailiff, he asked her if the kids were outside. She said yes, they were sitting outside the courtroom. He told Mr. Walker, he goes, he told my son and his wife, your kids are outside, go collect your kids. And she acted a fool. He told the bailiff, if she does anything silly, to arrest her.
wow. I was just gonna say one more thing as we're talking about my sister's case.
He wasn't given a fair trial. What do you mean he wasn't given a fair trial? He was given a fair trial. He still needs to be in jail. He did it. I know everybody thinks no, he did it. He did it. He did it. And his wife knew about it, and she can go to hell, and I don't care if she hears it. I don't care. She knew. She knew. I never liked that man. He looks sleazy. Every time I see him doing a Jello pudding commercial, he used to give me the cringes. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. I never did like Bill Cosby. But look, Susan is asking you if they can send
Oh.
the DNA to Quantico.
I don't know. That's a good question. The thing is, the small amount that they have is only a partial profile. So that is just telling them it's a white male. They have done a little bit of background with a different genealogist. I explained all that
Mm-hmm.
genealogy stuff to you before. Um, so they used this other woman a while ago, and all it gives them is the history on like a name, for example. Or, well, they don't have a name, but they can the DNA that the woman looks how she looks at it,
Welcome.
it gives them information of a possibility of the ancestry of this person. And I'm trying to remember if it was Ireland or English or something like that. It was one of those like Irish, Ireland, you know.
Okay.
So
But you told
that doesn't give them that doesn't help them at all. They
okay,
needed
you told me that you reached out to what's her name too, the one that was able to take a profile and draw a picture.
oh CC Moore. She's the head genealogist that works for Parabon, which is the big company in Virginia that has been solving all these cold cases. She's a
She
big,
came out.
yeah,
I
she's very
watched her.
well known.
Yep, I've watched a
Um,
lot of the stuff that she's helped solve these cases. Matter of fact, she helped them solve. It wasn't BTK. No,
the
no, it
Golden
wasn't
State.
BT. I forgot what, but she's helped them solve a lot of cases. But
Yeah,
look, I'm looking at IB me. I like that IB me. You heard? Okay, you're right. She took. Okay, one victim took money. Now he admitted to giving these women these little, the pills. But my thing is, you, oh, oh God, he admitted it. He should still be in jail. Yeah, and the system works, but what kind of agreement? So one woman did take money. Well, no, he offered to pay her college tuition. Uh, the one that accused him. The mother had him on the recording. Well, a lot of them accused him, but the one he was convicted of, who was a coach for a college team, got a cough. I'm sorry, but I think he still need. I don't care if his health is bad or not. I don't care about Harvey Weinstein either. Weinstein, whatever his damn name is.
no,
They
he
all
deserved to
need to
be
be
in.
in jail. Yeah, the Golden State Killer. Thank you, Crazy
Yeah,
Mom. I couldn't
that was
remember.
the first. That was the first case that Parabon and that CC assisted on. And she did contact me. She finally responded to one of my messages because she's just extremely busy. So after a couple months, um, I sent her another message. She finally responded, and she was pretty disappointed that they didn't find any more DNA. So at this point, I'm not giving up, obviously, but with that small amount, they can't do anything with it. So like we can't even use the services with CC Moore and her company. We can't even use the Familia DNA testing, which
Okay.
is where that has to do with people that are incarcerated. Um, and plus, they're always checking the CODIS system, the FBI CODIS system.
Okay.
And at this
And
point,
nothing.
nothing ever comes up all these years. It's gonna be it's 48 years already. Um, so at this point, all they can do, we're waiting for a new detective. I have his name. I just am waiting to hear back of when he's
Okay.
gonna um, call me. But all they could do at this point is continue to search for people, for suspects. They do have
Well,
a
let's.
they do have someone that they want to go talk to again. Um, Another person that they never got a mouth swab from to compare DNA. But it's tough because they've done so many DNA mouth swabs over the years for so many people that knew my family and that were known in the community, that it's like, who is left? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm frustrated of dealing with it, but I'm just trying to figure out what else I should do. I mean,
Well, just don't give up. But guys, let me let you know. So tomorrow morning, I don't know if you caught Yvette and I last week, but we're doing Bonnet and Coffee again tomorrow morning, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be with Debbie. We're going to do cocktails and we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, not just the housewives, but we're just going to just have chit chat about anything. So if you guys want to chime in, you're more than welcome to chime in.
thank you for the comment.
Oh, no. Hold on a second. Let's see. Yeah. But Michelle, like I said, don't give up, because you see all of these cases, assault, even if the person is deceased, at least you guys will have some, it's never closure, but at least you'll have some answers.
Oh, I know that. And that's fine, but it's getting to that point. Like, I was so excited when I knew about this genetic stuff, right? And this was when we had our other detective on, for the one that was with us for 15 years. And he explained a lot of stuff to me, but then the new guy came on, and again, with fresh eyes, whatever, it does help. I believe that. So he
Well,
was very interested in the genetic stuff. So
okay.
so that's when he did everything he could, sent the clothing back, all that stuff. And he's the one that explained, okay, this is all we have, like, by number. I never knew all these years, me and my sister, we never knew anything. We knew that they had DNA. We knew it was some kind of profile. But then I learned everything about the breakdown of how they get to a full profile.
Yep.
And you have to have 20, the number's like 23 or 24. So we only have like 10 or 11.
Okay.
If you get the 13, you could do the familia DNA testing. But again, if there was a hit, anyone that got arrested at this point, it's going to hit, because the DNA
Okay.
is in the system.
Well, I'm
So
gonna keep praying for you. You
I'm
know
just going
that.
to do, I'm going to make some, I have some, questions about one of the other girls, the one that was after my sister. And
Hmm.
I'm curious about if they've ever tested her clothing, because they never had DNA supposedly. And my sister's was the only one that had DNA. So I'm going to call the other county and
Okay.
just discuss that with them, because the detective that just retired, or that just moved on, he didn't know if they ever did any testing, because her case and my sister's case were very, very similar. If you remember, they were like
Yep.
identical.
They were identical, but the third one really wasn't.
No, the first one really wasn't.
The
Carmen.
first one. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, the first one.
So that, and that was 18 months after that my sister was taken from the first one. So my sister
Okay.
and then the other girl were 6 months apart, and everything about their case is so similar. So that's why they always believed that there could be two people, one for the first girl and one for the last two. So I'm just to the point now that I'm gonna just, I could talk publicly to anyone. I could go on these shows. I had people contacting me from California, but I just put that aside because we were waiting to hear from the lab. But now I'm just like, why can't it be publicized in other states? And that's what was frustrating me. But you
Well,
can't
you know
get,
what they say, they dropped the ball. Same thing like Orrin and Orson, you got these kids missing. It's over 6 months now.
yeah,
And the first police department that handled it, they allegedly didn't handle it correctly. So now it's turned over to Bakersfield, and the FBI is now involved in the case.
mhm.
So, some people aren't equipped to handle, I mean, some departments may not be equipped to handle certain things. But again, don't give up. I know you're constantly working on it because I check in with you, but just never, ever. Oh, she's speaking about the ABC murders.
Double initial
It's the
murders.
double initials, like all the girls have the same initials, everything. The ABC
70,
murders
it was 1971 through 73.
in 1971.
In Rochester,
Yeah,
New
so
York.
her
Yeah,
sister was the second victim, right?
yeah, Wanda.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wanda. Well, I didn't want to
and
say her name, but yeah. So she was the second victim. So there were three girls in total.
they the DNA under nails. For my sister's case, um, she from what there was no struggle, I guess, but I thought I heard about one of the other girls that there was something like a palm print or something with the fingernails, but they're saying that there's no DNA. So
I'm
the thing,
surprised I'm surprised the other detectives. I'm surprised they didn't compare notes.
well, that's the thing. And this is, it's so crazy because the guy that was the detective that was with us for 15 years, like I said, he did so much like in the beginning. Then he got transferred the last few years, and he kind of, I could tell something was changing. He just wasn't like as able to work on it. And then he retired like all of a sudden. So when this new guy came on, he was like so interested and he was so helpful on the phone, he just kept calling me or asking me questions. And he went ahead and said, we're going to send her clothing back. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then, you know, we get the results after 9 months.
Okay,
And
can
he
I
was
ask you a
still,
question though?
yeah.
Um, I just want to find out from you.
Mhm.
So I understand that at your time of your mother's death, that I remember you telling me how this actually broke your mother. It broke your older sister. Uh,
Mhm.
you were too young to really remember a lot that was going on. But the detective that's retired, a lot of these detectives actually go back and they keep their case files even when they go through retirement, and they like to solve cases. Have you tried to reach out to him again?
Um, as far as I know, he is still assisting in other things, but he has. I haven't reached out to him since he retired, but the one that just left her case, has still is in contact because he would call him for things. All the notes were handed over to the guy that just
Maybe
like
not.
left
I'm
us.
serious. I watch so many of like all of these true crime stories where these detectives that retire, they may hand over their notes, but they keep
Yeah.
notes. I mean, but they have their own set. I mean, maybe you should try just reaching out to him, because a lot of actually go into private investigations. I would just check with them and talk to him and see.
Yeah, that's a thought. And the thing I mentioned how there's another person that they want to go talk to again. So this person, this gentleman, he's still alive. He still lives in Rochester. I mean, I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but it's just
No, I know.
that's my where I'm at right now. He still lives
Okay.
in Rochester in a suburb. He's still alive. So I had heard the previous detective, ran his name by me a long time ago, years ago, and they've had so many people that they've had to look at because their siblings have called in about their father. Okay, there's probably been like maybe 4 or 5 of these people. So this particular guy, I guess his daughter called in. I don't know the whole story, but they went and talked to him. This is the previous detective. I'll just say his first name's Tom.
Hmm.
He went and then he brought the guy that we just had on the case. And so Tom was very excited because this gentleman, this guy, was like telling him, and I'd never heard this before. Oh, yeah, I saw her. I pulled up to her and was talking to her that day. Okay. who would say that? Okay. And they did his DNA and there was no match, which was very frustrating
Mhm.
because the fact was she was coming from the store. She walked past a tavern bar or whatever that was on the corner of it was Conky and Avenue A. And at the time that the bar was there was a big huge window. So all the patrons inside the bar could see outside. There was everyone a lot of people knew everyone in the neighborhood. Oh, there's Wanda, they talked to people, witnesses. Yeah, we saw Wanda walk by. Well, once she got past that window and she was struggling with the bag, I guess, because she was holding a paper bag. And she was holding the bag up to the gate, which is where our grammar school was at the time. And then you couldn't see anything past that, the people in the bar.
Okay.
So this person that picked her up, and this is my thinking, and this is what I kept telling George, the guy that just detected. I said, you need to go back and talk to this person. I have his name and everything. I said, because Tom told me, I have notes of all my conversations with him. I said, he told me back when it was that this guy said that he had a friend. Either the friend was with him, but there was known of a friend. So when Tom was there talking with him, and Tom was thinking, he was all excited, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is our guy! This is our guy! We're gonna finally solve this case." And when
Mhm.
the DNA came back and there was no match, they went to. I think George did go back to talk to him. Yeah, I think George went back to talk to him. But then the guy starts saying how, "Oh, there's no friend," like he's trying to maybe cover up a friend that
Okay,
was
but
with
they did
him.
a DNA swab from him, right?
Yes, but
Okay, so there was no match. So maybe he was just saying it so he can get involved in the case.
well, that was what we that you took that right out of my mouth. That was what George said to me like a few months back. He said, "Well, you know how people are like when they're in jail, they just like to talk because they've had so many people that they've had to go talk to in jail because they get tips from people in jail."
Yep.
So this guy, George is like, "Well, maybe he was just saying it because of what was going on in the neighborhood." But then just the day that me and him, excuse me, the day that me and him spoke, when he told me the results from the lab and he was telling me that he's not going to be on our case, he says, "Well, I'm going to instruct the new person to go back and talk to him because it just still doesn't feel right to me." You know what I mean? So I kind of felt like I trusted Tom. He was with us for 15 years. You get to know someone, you have a good relationship with them when it comes to this situation. And then George was with us for like a year, and I did have a good rapport with him. But it's kind of like he said one thing, and then he kind of, I don't know if he was saying it just to get my hopes up or he was just saying it to just, say, okay, well, we're just going to try this guy one more time. And I said, well, you need to, because at this point, we have no more DNA. We have
Yep.
just a small amount. You guys can't use any sources. So it's pretty much a done deal. Like, my hopes are gone for them using the genetic portion to get it solved, which of course that would have been a home run. That would have been major news all over the state
Yeah, but
because
don't give up hope. Seriously.
no, I'm not. I just
Yeah,
I
don't give
just
up hope
know
because I still have faith that this is going to be solved in your lifetime. So, and I know
I
that it's
just want
hard.
yeah, I just want to know why can't without me going onto a show which I was approached by I said people just last year um that was going to be like a big supposedly like a Netflix or A&E they were going to do. I don't know if that would have been a good thing to do now. I don't know yet. I'm still undecided. My sister wouldn't want anything to do with it, but I want to know, why can't this be publicized? I know it's on the internet, but this is an old case, almost 50 years, and they just solved the genetic people. I'm sidetracking. They just solved a case from 1957. 57. That's like, how many years ago was that? And that, it's just amazing what they can do. And I'm not going to give up. And I wish that I had their services. We could use them, but we can't because they'll never get any more DNA to send to them to build a case. But I feel like it should be broadcasted in other states because what if the person moved? There's so many other things that could lead to an arrest.
Yep. Michelle, they're asking, I can't, is the name of the movie, is it called the ABC Murders?
Oh, the alphabet killer.
Oh, the Alphabet Killer. That's it.
It's if you guys can watch it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to watch it, but that movie was filmed here. That's correct. But it's I don't know. It wasn't that great, in my opinion. But that's just because that was my sister. The sad thing about that is, and I'm just gonna give you a quick background. One of the guys that was in production, he's actually in the movie. He plays a cop. He is not from Rochester. He was never from Rochester. His mother-in-law or whatever, some relation, lives here, and this woman was working with the RPD years ago when I did my first documentary with the I think you saw that one, Heidi, with
But
the
wait a
Discovery
minute.
Channel.
I don't want to interrupt you, but
No.
Crazy Cat Mom is asking you a question. If they still have your sister's clothing.
Yes, they did the testing. It's probably been sent back here to where they keep it, but they just completely did a full retesting of her clothing. Well, certain areas of the clothing, I guess, and they did not find any more DNA. They were hoping to because of the technology these days, but they didn't find any more. So that was kind of like, a blow to the case because they need to build that number up to get a bigger profile. And so because they don't have any more DNA from the clothing, they can't find it anywhere else. They can't build that number back up.
Okay.
So,
And then not Terry, Mel R is asking you about the movie.
is it factual?
It's the movie
No.
factual.
Well, what they it's more of a horror flick, to be honest. And I was explaining about that guy. Basically, the guy came to Rochester. He had connections. Came to Rochester. He rented a house while he was filming the movie here, 2 doors down from my sister, my older sister. Okay, and he had connections to know everything about us, where we live. That's like not a lie. It was so easy. It was just horrible when my sister had to see him walk by because when we found out about the movie being made, they were going to use the real names. But then we were talking to an uncle of ours because we're like, wait a second. Do we need a lawyer for this situation? Because they have no right to use her name or any of the names. So we were trying to get them to stop making it. But when it comes to production team, whether it's a small production team or not, which it was, they have their own lawyers on top of lawyers on top of lawyers, and they got money to back them up. So they said, we're going to make the movie, but we're going to change the names. And we're going to just say it's loosely based on these crimes that happened. So yes, they tried to make it seem like it was all real, but it wasn't. And it's out there. You can watch it. In my opinion, it's,
Okay. Do you
not
know
that
if they
great.
have DNA from the other girls as well?
They don't, from what I've been told. They, when they back then in the 70s, they they couldn't do what they can do now. So
Okay.
DNA wasn't really looked at until the early 90s, I believe. And that's when our first detective came on, which he wasn't even through the state police. He was with Monroe County Sheriff's. but he was the first one that was introduced to us. And then Tom came on. And at that point, he
So
came
you
on.
had what, 4 detectives already, or 5? I mean 4.
No, we had Pat was the first one, but he didn't really do a lot because he wasn't with the New York State. Tom came on in 2005, 2 years after my mother died. He came on, and he was really the only one. And then this guy George came on. So I guess we could count Pat briefly, and then Tom, and then George. So 3. We're going on 4.
You're going on 4 right now because that's a new one. And
Yeah.
right, Mel, if they didn't preserve the evidence, then they're screwed. But from what I'm understanding, they did preserve it to a point. But now they've
Yeah.
tested her clothing so much that they're running out, and there was only a little amount left
Yeah. Well,
to be
actually,
tested.
right. Actually, it wasn't the clothing back then. The DNA that was left at the crime scene
Yes, sorry.
is what they had to use. They use when they test people's mouth swabs.
Mm-hmm.
They use that against that somehow. So yeah, so it kind of, the number did go down a little bit. I don't know how much it was back then, but it did go down a little bit. Joseph Nassau, I know that he is a well-known, I'm gonna say copycat killer, because he, I don't know if you know about this, Heidi.
Yes.
He was from Rochester. He went to Nevada. They were older girls, but his DNA is not, it doesn't match.
Yep, I remember because we talked
Yes.
about that the first time that you were on. And
Yeah.
then there was another suspect. It wasn't a Green River killer. Who was it?
Oh my gosh.
Because he was living in Rochester at the time.
Hillside Strangler.
Hillside Killer. Yes, the Hillside
Yankee.
Strangler. So they investigated him as well, and his DNA didn't match.
Right. And he was the main suspect, the prime
Yeah.
suspect all those years. My mother, going back to her, she struggled obviously with
I
alcohol.
think that was the problem. They focused on him and not doing, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, back then when they had no DNA, they couldn't do anything. But my poor mother, in the years that she was struggling, and hey, that's how she dealt with it. I got no resentment, because that's how she dealt with it, and I don't blame her. That's, everyone's different. But I was young then. I was a young teen, and I remember her saying crazy things, because he was already in jail at that point in California. And my mother's brother, my uncle, had lived in California. And my mom was like, I'm going to go to California. I'm going to find this, and in her mind, because she wasn't thinking straight, unfortunately, she said crazy things. So, she went to her grave, believing that it was Bianchi, even though I did the documentary in 2001, and she saw that. But
Yep. So
she
Michelle
never.
has done several interviews. She did a they've interviewed you a couple of times, haven't they?
Yeah, the first one I did is on YouTube. It's under Discovery Channel. It's very old. It's not tasteful at all. I did it only if I said if my face was covered. And at that time, I mean, I'm a little more open now, but back then, that was like in 2000. And I said, I want my face covered. So they did the first one. They covered my face really
Yep, I saw
well,
that one.
but then they went back and redid it. So the one you saw, the one that's out there, they made me go back to this downtown to redo it.
Mhm.
And they changed the background to make it look like I was sitting in the living room. And they made my face, you could see my hair color, you could tell it was my voice. Everyone that knows me knew it was me doing the
Yep.
interview, because they didn't use my name. But that particular interview, the guy that did it, he was an ex FBI profiler guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's out there. It's fine to watch.
Okay.
But he really wasn't good with the questioning. The way he questioned me, I did not like it. I wasn't comfortable. And then I did
I think you
another.
need to do Nancy Grace. I think you need to contact Nancy Grace.
Oh gosh, I know. I know. I was following her for a while. Um,
I'm serious. I think you might need to contact Nancy Grace.
I know I'm missing all these comments, and I know that it should
Well,
be
I'm putting them up there
natural.
for you, so I bring your attention to them.
Yeah, I know.
And just like Snuggle Bunny is saying,
Engagement.
she thinks that they were concentrating on Bianchi so much that
Well,
because that.
I mean, you got to think this was in the '80s when I was like a teenager, so they we didn't have a detective come to us. Okay, my mother had a very bad experience when this all happened. Obviously, she was in distraught. She was a mess. I mean, it was a nightmare for her. So
I know you
when
told me she started drinking right after that, right?
yeah, and that's how she dealt with it. And you know what? That's how it was in the '70s. You know, that's how it was. People wanted to judge her. You know what? In the newspapers, they said all kinds of crazy things. My mother was a great mother. She may have had drank. How many people grew up with alcoholic parents? I mean, it's the way it was back
Yeah.
then. There's
I
nothing
think I
wrong
think
with
you
it.
need to reach out to Nancy Grace. If you don't reach out to her, I will, but you need to reach out to Nancy Grace. I am so serious.
You got me really
Or cold
thinking
case
about it.
files or something. I am so serious because they do this all the time.
I know. I I know. I'm just nervous as hell. I don't know why I
I don't
am,
know why
but
you're nervous. This is about your
I'm.
sister and you want answers.
I know. I mean, the
Yeah,
interview I
there were a
did.
lot of serial killers in the 80s. You're absolutely right. Lots of them.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was there was after Bianchi, and then in the '90s before Pat, the first detective, came to us. They actually no, it was after him. There was a fireman. I think we discussed this last time, Heidi. There was a fireman that was a well-known rapist in the '70s. He was called the garage rapist. Okay, so he was like 25. He was a fireman, so of course, he was. Everyone looked at it like for my sister. I don't know about the other two girls, but I was brought up embedded in my head. Wanda would never go with a stranger. She'd never go in the car with a stranger. Had to be someone she known, or had to be someone in a uniform, authority figure. So, oh,
Oh,
who,
Lieutenant Kinder, girl,
who's that?
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not being funny, Michelle. I tell everybody, Joe Kinder, you, you know,
Oh,
I, I love this man. I said, if I ever had to commit a murder, it would never be in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am so
oh,
serious.
oh, the K. I just saw the movie on Lifetime about Watts. Is that his name?
No,
Oh,
Lieutenant Joe Kinder, he's a homicide detective.
okay.
He moved from the East Coast. He went to Colorado Springs, joined the police force. He accidentally stumbled onto, well, not he went to a crime scene. The older detectives was calling him young this, but he noticed things they didn't notice. He moved up really quick in the ranks. This man has a nose for people that are innocent, people that are guilty. And if you don't watch ID Discover, you need to start watching Joe Kinder. That man,
Okay.
his crime, I think his rate is 98 or 99% of solving his crimes. Seriously.
Wow. Okay. I got yeah. I just took like a picture, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yep, Lieutenant Joe Kinder.
Kenda. Okay. Well,
Kenda. I love that man.
there was a guy that uh, out of state, some I don't know
And
if it
you
was a
have, yeah, but
local
you have one
detective.
right there in New York too. I can't remember his name. Oh, curly black hair. He does all of these old crimes and cases too. I'm gonna have to find
Um,
his name for you. I can't remember his name, but he has a memory. He can see a crime scene one time and remember the whole layout.
really? Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into. I don't want to go the route with the people that were contacting me last year.
No, I'm telling you,
So I
contact
want to.
Nancy Grace, let her know who you are, and you put up there in that subject line, let her know exactly who you are.
Okay.
And but I'm gonna have to get out of here pretty soon. And let's see, NYC, New York. Uh, ooh, thank you. Okay, so anyway, um, you and I can always talk.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, not Dyke. Yeah, but we need a
Rating.
detective or somebody that's yeah. So okay, so you got Dr. Michael Batten, but I think for who? Wait a minute, who's touched? Who's touched?
Who is touched?
Kenda, yes, Kenda is touched. but Dr. Michael Batten, he's good. I forgot the other doctor's name, the one that was on all the cases. He did OJ, so I can forgot his name. But you need a Nancy Grace to throw everything in front. So she can start digging. Yep, she's a fighter. I'm telling you, you need to have someone like that on your side, because I see what's going on in Rochester. And it's not just the cases I showed you guys tonight. If you guys want to go look it up, I put the links and stuff in the description. Please go check it out. You'll see it's not just those murders, but those just stood out, because those are the ones that, but I mean, even today, it was somebody that they shot on, well, not today, 2 days ago, that was on a bike. For some reason, don't know.
Yeah, we've had a lot in the last
A
few
lot.
months. Yeah, a lot. I mean,
Yep. So it's not just those, but those were the three, and a little girl that I had been working on for a while. And I was talking to different people. I even called their public, I called their media department, and she gave me some background. She was really nice. She was nice, but she couldn't talk about the mayor. But she did confirm about the mayor's husband's earlier arrest when he was 18 for robbery. But she confirmed all of that, but she couldn't talk about the mayor because there's a pending investigation.
YouTubers that do crime is a good idea. Keep in touch. Okay.
Yep. So I'm serious. I am going to, if you don't reach out to Nancy Grace, I will send her an email and I will give her your name and everything. And I think you really need to reach out to her, because she will not let it go. I mean, she's like a
Right.
dog with a bone and she won't bury it either.
Oh, I know. She's
Oh,
good.
Nikki, I'm sorry. I just wanted to
Okay.
tell you, all of my comments came flooding in today. I saw your comments and I replied to you, and I want to thank you. And for all you guys that are watching, I see how many people watch. I see the people that are in the chat. For all you guys that watch, please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to come in and chat, because we like to talk, and I like to get other people's perspectives of what they think and how they see things. So I really enjoy interacting with the chat.
I know. I'm just reading through.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. So, but I just
Yeah,
so I really want you to think about that kind of stuff seriously. So you really, really have to look outside of Rochester.
Yes, for sure. Definitely.
Okay, I'm just saying that, and you know that.
I've learned so much about the genetic stuff and all the, just the advanced technology. And we had a case, I think I went over it before, with the familia DNA. Okay, it was the first one that was solved, and that was like a big thing. They presented that in the middle of while all this stuff was going on with Daniel Prude. And it was a crazy time, but it was brief. And I went to school with this girl, and it happened in 1984.
Okay.
And they found, and it was through the familia.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. So they found, so they found her killer, and you went to. Yeah, that's what I said. Don't give up. Do
crazy
not
thing,
give up. Please don't give up. But if you want me to, I will send an email. And so what you do is send me your email address. I'll copy you on the email that I do send to Nancy Grace.
okay.
Okay.
I think
So
I'm
that
comfortable with
way,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
copy you on the email, but I will reach out to her. I will write her an email and I will reach out to her, her team, or whoever, and I will do that for you. And just send me your email address and I will definitely send that off because I think you need to start thinking outside of Rochester because the case has been dormant for so long. There is no way if you
Yeah.
had
I mean,
three girls in the same areas, I mean, just different little counties, but same area up there, that
mhm.
there's not someone local that was doing this. Because if you have somebody that's traveling through, you know what I mean? It's not going to
Yes.
be, but I think they were like a year. Well, like one was what your sister was 8 months after the first, after the
Eight,
first one.
eight, 18 months. Karma was
18
in,
months after the first one. And then the second one, the third one was what?
um, so Karma was in November, December 71. My sister was April 73, and Michelle was November of 73. So, and, the Carmen case, it's, that's different. They have their own idea of her killer. And
Oh,
then,
okay. They thought it was her uncle at first, didn't they?
yeah, yeah, that's kind of where they've left it. But it's, you know, we've had a detective all these years stay in contact because mainly, I
Yep.
guess, because there was DNA.
Yeah,
And
but
then
still, all
her
these years.
family, yeah, her
Okay.
family never had anyone to represent them. I don't know what it is, and I'm in contact with the family. Well, one of the sisters and I talk.
It's
Um,
Rochester. I'm not saying nothing about Rochester, but it's Rochester. I think you need to think outside the box.
yeah,
And there's a lot, but I think Nancy Grace, she'll take a look at it, and best thing is she's an ex-prosecutor, she's an investigative reporter, and she looks at everything. She
yeah,
looks, because I don't know if
she's
you
tough.
remember when her friend wife was killed, and they were
Yeah,
looking at him for murder. And he's a high profile attorney as well. And
oh,
Nancy, they were trying to convince her, and no, he didn't. And if come to find out, it was the young man that lived next, well, not right next door, because they lived up in this area where, there was a lot of land, but he was what, 17, 18 years old. He went over there, he was trying to rob him, and then she was home. He didn't know she was home, and he killed her.
oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
but they were trying to, oh, I can't remember his name, but they were trying to blame him. Yes, and then her fiance, he was a part, he was murdered.
Wow.
That's why she fights the way she does.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
granted, she's twins now. I don't know if she's still married or not, but it took her a long time to get over that. And I don't think she ever got over it, to be honest.
No, you don't, and that's why
So,
she probably is the way she is.
mhm.
In Chicago, but to be sure.
Yep, and see, there's something off with that investigation, and that's what I'm saying. Something is off. Shit, it could have been a cop. I'm sorry, no offense. It
No,
could have
no,
been a
I've
cop.
that's crossed my mind. I even
I'm
said it
serious.
to
I mean, because there is no way they. I'm serious. I'm just saying. Did they ever test anybody in the police department, the fire department? Did they take swabs from all of these officials? Because girls just don't go off with strange men, and there was nothing showing that these girls were pulled off the street or dragged. So it had to be
no,
someone with, and I'm thinking it has to be someone with a uniform. That's just me.
right. I mean, the detective kept thinking it was for my sister that it was someone that knew our family. But they've tested pretty much everyone except one other person. I won't mention his name.
The question you
Um,
need to ask, all the cops that were there then are not there now. I get it. The question needs to be
there's
asked.
been corruption in the 70s and 80s. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
So
gonna agree with that.
were
Yes.
any officers tested? Were any firefighters tested?
They exhumed the fireman that I was telling you about.
Yep, I remember that.
They exhumed his body.
Yep.
and there was no match. But when it comes to police, I don't know. I did ask Tom, the original guy. I said, did they, just out of curiosity, the state police that found her back then, I said, did they even test him? I was just going at straws, pulling at straws, like asking him everything.
I would ask again, because I'm telling you, okay.
But I don't think they've, no, I don't think they have. I don't think they ever would.
No, because you got to think, you have 3 young girls. They're not just going to go off, and there was no evidence of them fighting off anyone or anything. So it's leading to believe it was somebody that has some type of authority. That's just me.
No, you're right. And I'm looking at the comment for the wig person. Yeah. He was a cop, the Golden State Killer. He was a cop. You're right. It's, I don't know. It's so.
Oh my God. You see what Crazy Cat Mama said? I'm serious. You got to look at everything. And by now, and I was about to say the same thing you just said. I don't think corruption just started in Rochester at all.
No, it's been here. But, not to like where it's at now, like what we were discussing earlier with the videos and all that. I don't remember them being that aggressive and the shooting and all that, but there has always been corruption, and it's sad. It's probably, it's probably all over the states.
Yeah.
But with this case, they have done, the lab in Albany has done the most DNA testing swabs, mouth swabs, that they've ever done in any other case in the whole New York State.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question again. Albany. Okay. Again, most big cases and unsolved cases, when they can't come up with anything, they send those off to the FBI lab. They send those off to Quantico. Your sister's stuff was never sent off anywhere, was it?
I don't believe so. I mean, I remember George telling me about, okay, so the girl that was the case with the familiar DNA, there was a FBI / I don't know if he works for RPD or whatever, but he contacted George after they did their work on that case. And he said, I want to I want to help if you guys are able to get more DNA. So he's an FBI guy, and I got his name, I think, but I'm
serious, because you're the one that's advocating now, because your sister can't deal with it. She never wanted to do any interviews. You're the one that's speaking for the family. You're the spokesperson. So I feel that you've been getting, maybe the first guy on the case was kind of dedicated, but even after a while, you're not getting anywhere. You need help. You need outside help.
Right. But I know it's gonna come down to the fact that, okay, we only have 10 location, whatever. That has to do with, that's a small amount. It's only a partial profile. What's this? What about cold case detectives?
Ooh, I like this one too. She says she thinks it was a cop. You know what? I'm serious. People with authority, I'm looking at all these priests. I don't know if you guys remember hearing about the case about the priest that actually murdered one of his congregants. You had a priest that murdered a nun. You got people that's in authority. These priests that abuse these kids. I'm serious. Cops are not. They're still people. They're people. They're people. Just because they put that badge on and that uniform, you don't know who these people are.
Right. I agree with you. And that's something that, we've talked about that. But they're not going to go and probably most of them probably died by this point. There's definitely bad cops in the department.
Yes. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm looking at confidential, and I got 2 good comments too. They got bad cops in every department. That's what I'm saying. Something is wrong, because most states,
boys club for sure.
Most states that cannot get a handle on a case after a certain amount of time, they ask for help. they go outside because the FBI has always had a bigger database. And now they got coders, but but now they're using coders. But think of it's been 48 years. Come on now.
I know. So, I mean, I'm not, for me to go and say, okay, well, why don't you go look or, involved.
I bet if you I'm serious. I'm going to send that to Nancy Grace. Also, you're right. Dexter. Oh my God.
I remember that show.
I was hoping they would bring Dexter back. They were supposed to be doing a reboot. I love Dexter. My son got me into Dexter, and it was every Sunday thing. I would go over to his house when he lived here, and we would watch Dexter. Had to watch Dexter.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was a crazy show.
Yeah, but Michelle, I'm telling you, this has been. I am happy you came up, and I just want these guys. See my kimono I got when I was in San Francisco. This thing is so silky; it's not even funny. I love it.
It's nice.
I normally wear it with jeans and boots and shit. Oh, look!
Well, yeah, I was just. I called the prosecutor office a couple times. What prosecutor?
Are you talking about the prosecutor's office in Rochester? Yes, I love Nancy Grace. So I am gonna send her an email, but don't forget to send me your email address.
Oh, I will when we get off. Yeah, I don't know what. Let's see how.
Yeah, so tell me what prosecutor's office did you call, sweetie? I be me, you heard. I like that. I be me, you heard. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna call back because they're done with these crimes that happened in this one town. It's been weeks, so
thank you.
I know that this new detective, or if he's the one that, it's either going to be a new one or it's going to be the boss of the old detective, because he said he didn't know the name, but he gave me a different name.
Okay, she was talking about the 4 girls that she thinks that the cops murdered. Okay, that a cop murdered. Okay, I got you. Yep, the twins were friends with Epstein. Obama went to Epstein's Island. Chrissy Teigen was on the island. Everybody been on the island. The prince been on the island. Everybody been on the damn island.
I know, that's crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, I believe they killed Jeffrey Epstein too. And those two, and those two corrections officers that were there, they didn't press any charges. They didn't lose their pension. I think it was all a cover up. Yes, I remember those girls in Atlantic City. And how about the girl that they found up there on the beach in New York? Because they thought she was a part of all of that too, but she wasn't. Hers, I think that doctor killed her because he's the one that was calling her mother. So yes, it was. I forgot the name of it, but I saw that, and I do believe that was a cop as well. I know exactly who she's talking about.
I'm trying to remember which case.
Yep, Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself at all. I don't believe that, because he got away with it once. He thought he was going to get away with it again.
No,
he just had too much to talk about.
That's inside. Once he was put in jail, that's definitely inside work for sure.
Oh, girl, no, I don't want to do. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to. It's this new thing called Band. Or you can always just DM me. I mean, you can DM me. I do have. Hold on a second. Let me give you guys this so you can have it as well.
We don't want to talk about Reddit.
No, I don't.
I won't say no more.
Oh, I don't go Control C. Let me give you guys this. So anybody, here is my email address too. So there's the email for the channel, and I do check it. I looked at it today, and I need to go answer some of these things that's in there. So, no, I don't think I need to be on a Reddit.
Too much craziness on that site.
Yep, he was after the young meat. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, like the firemen I was telling you about.
Yes.
They were like well, they were, older teenagers, the girls that he attacked. But he killed himself, and then they exhumed his body. And that case that I was telling you about with the girl that I went to school with, that the familiar DNA that they solved here,
Yeah, because
our first,
I'm laughing at Mel because I
I
was
know.
told somebody was on there, had a name. Well, matter of fact, I wasn't told. I was sent a screenshot and they asked me, was this me? Somebody's on there with Heidi's college apartment. And I was like, God damn, if this is a college apartment, I need to get the I need to pay less money. But Heidi also has a big ass house as well. So, but I was like, and then they told me who it was. I was like, this shit is crazy. I don't care. It's just dumb.
I was saying really quick, the case that they solved from '84 from the girl I went to junior high school with, through the familiar DNA. The guy was in Florida, and one of the detectives, well, he's like retired now, that helped them in Florida. He was the first guy. His name's Pat. I won't say his last name, but he was the first guy that came to us in 1995. So when I'm watching the news and I hear this FBI guy mention his name, I just got goosebumps. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I knew he was retired and he moved to Florida, but he's still working and he's still helping people. And the fact that he helped this case, it just was amazing.
Okay, so I'm serious. I'm gonna do this email tomorrow.
Okay. I'll let
I'm
you
gonna,
do it. You
yep,
start the process.
yep. I'm gonna send this tomorrow. I actually might work on it tonight, but but I really want to give her the key points in the case. Um, and I want to break it down for her. And I need your email address because I will be copying you on that email.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you when we get off of here.
Yep. So, does anybody else have any questions for Michelle, or any other comments you want to make? But Michelle, hold on. So before I go out of here, I look, I gotta play my theme music. Like I got look, because every hero, look, every crime fighter, like I'm gonna get you, sucker. Every crime fighter has their theme music.
I can't wait to hear this.
That's just me. That's just me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that Red Hot Unfiltered did that for me. I love it.
That was nice.
I love it. Michelle, they're saying thank you for your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hoping justice is served soon. Thank you, Terry. But I'm gonna bid you guys. Girl, I can't wait. I gotta go get I'm gonna have a good time when I'm on vacation again.
Where are you
I'm
going
throwing
now?
those heels on. I love my heels. I actually trip in tennis shoes. I have even my slippers, I have heels. I trip. I love heels, heels, heels. So
where are you going on vacation?
We're gonna go to Atlantic City. And then my next one, I got to squeeze California in there somewhere, but I invited Cat Mama to join me in Las Vegas. I mean, yeah, in Las Vegas. I invited her to join us in Las Vegas in September.
Weren't you just there?
Yep, but I'm going back again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going back with Yvette and her friends and her sister. So, and she has a big old house. I invited Crazy Cat Mama to join us. If not the whole week, she can come for a couple of days and she can come hang out with us.
Sounds like A good time.
Yeah, she can come hang out with us. But yes, but I'm going to Atlantic City. Well, tomorrow is July, so August. Going to Atlantic
Okay.
City in August.
Very
So
nice.
I think it's the 13th, 14th, 15th. I think it's the 13th or the 17th or the 8th. I can't remember the dates, but I know it's mid-August. We're going.
It's gotten nice out there.
Yes, I'm coming to Atlantic City. I will be in Atlantic City. That is where I'm going. I will be and I got to fly into Philly. So we're flying into Philly and then we have to drive. But we were checking with the hotel to see if they had a shuttle. But God, I used to drive through Atlantic City all the time anyway. But because I would drive from Maryland, Eastern Shore, I would take the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, go up on the turnpike, come up through Delaware, hit Pennsylvania, not Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania, and then I'm in New York. I mean, New Jersey. Yeah, so Philly. I would take the turnpike. Yes, Heidi and Heidi together. But Heidi says that her friend doesn't want to be with us because we're both Heidi Marie. She goes, oh my God. But yes, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I can't wait for that. Michelle, again, I want to say thank you. I cannot believe I have been live for over 2 hours. I can't believe this.
I'm
Yes,
glad we're able to talk about all that.
Yeah, but I just that little girl still has me going. 9 years old, but still. I want to say thank you to everyone. Good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I missed my girls live because I didn't think I was going to be on here this long. What happens in Vegas never stays in Vegas. Trust me. They always have me on video camera. I've been blackmailed by my sister-in-law, by my sister, by my friend. Oh my God. Thank you guys. But don't forget tomorrow morning, if you guys are up, I'll be with Dear Yvette on the Dear Yvette show. We're doing bonnet and coffee. We had so much fun. So that's 8 Central, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then tomorrow night, it'll be me and Debbie again. And we're going to talk about everything, not just housewives, but everything. So there's a lot going on that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So look, grab your drinks because tomorrow is cocktail hour. So grab your drinks. Wait a minute. What did she say? Yeah, some very sad stories. It was a lot to cover, but I just wanted to cover it. And I've been working on it for a while.
I'm glad I saw it today.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. Because when you told me about it, it was the George Floyd stuff going on, and I really started working on it then. But then it would seem like it would be like too much back to back.
Yeah.
So I had to put a break in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So Michelle, don't forget if you're up in the morning, come join us. If you're not up tomorrow morning, come join me tomorrow night. For all those that are watching, please like, share the video, subscribe to the channel. This is what I do. I like true crime. I like reality TV. So that's what I do, guys.
Well, I had a good time.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you. And confidential informant, I definitely have to talk to you. Hi, old school Patricia. I'm just getting ready to go off, sweetie. And I answered your comment today. I got all my comments came at one time on YouTube. So I went through and I answered every single comment I answered today. But I really want to thank you for being a subscriber. I want to thank all of you that have already subscribed and that continue to support me. I really appreciate it. So I would definitely see you guys tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening. Good night. I'm gonna be I be me, you heard.
Yeah,
so I will see you guys tomorrow morning and again tomorrow evening. Michelle, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank all of you. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.
All right, bye. I'll send you that.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.